So I guess we're here again for drama reasons.
Yeah.
Corey and I, obviously I've been in the channel a lot longer.
There's a lot of things that are very unclear, or you're only hearing one side of the story of.
Let's start this off properly. Greetings and salutations, nomads, party people, and strangers everywhere across the internet and the globe at large. My name is V, and for the next couple of videos, I'm going to be breaking up the monotony from my regular scheduled programming to be giving you guys some serious videos. They're going to be split up into focused editorial videos and subcategories of each person inside said editorials. Could be a group of people, could be singular individuals, could be an entire conglomerate. Whatever the case may be, that is the main focus of this mini-series of Perception, a Faulty Medium, where right now we're starting off with an internet group that was famously known for being half fine bros, half full-blown gaming, all the time, supposed to be a full-blown team made by friends, and with the added bonus of being an all-female group, something that is kind of a nuanced thing with the internet, since a lot of people don't see gamer girls as a real life thing because, according to the internet, girls don't exist. And that I mean of GirlsPlay, aka watch girls play. And the purpose of this editorial from the Perception, a Faulty Medium, is to go over a slight debacle that's been going on for the past several months, if not for years on end, from the information dump that I'm leaving in the description below to give you guys a small little backstory before we go into the subdivision videos. But let's start off first with the accused in this whole entire debacle, which is of GirlsPlay. Now, I won't go into the full-blown information dump that is listed in the description below because that's for the subdivision videos, but I will just give you a slight little gist as to the claims that have been thrown at them thus far, which has been the payment plan, drama-based things of favoritism, and a lot of things of just shutting down fans for saying this, that, and the third thing, whether it's over on social media where people are saying these things, or on different videos where they've been doing reactions or doing Let's Plays. In the comments section is listed below about a lot of people trying to list out these claims and back them up with the people trying to give these claims out to them. And that is a long laundry list of things that I do not want to get into because I am being Switzerland. I am not trying to be on either side because, honestly, this has gone way too far. We'll get into why I say that after I go into the other party, which are the people giving these claims. Goes into 3 different channels, all as one big friend group. Yandreaya? Someone please clarify to me how to say that name in the comments below so I don't mess up these things in the subdivision videos. Nurses Station, and Strikehedonia. These 3 are the main people that have been listing these claims as to all the problems that have been going on, how things have not been ran the way that they should, and so forth and so on, even going into full-blown videos trying to detail all of these messes to say this is their story. And this is where the perception as a faulty medium argument comes into play. Let's say that you guys are running a company. You do things your way, the best way that you can when you're just young adults. You don't know the laws that well. You're just trying your best with how to do things. But here's the small kicker. Things have to change to make sure that things stay up and up when the notoriety comes in. You're getting more notifications about fans, about how to back up all these things financially, about getting sponsors, about getting supporters, going into different mediums to make sure you get extra income in case your first avenue isn't paying off that well. Many companies alone can tell you that that is the practice for a lot of young people that don't know how to do things that well. In fact, Team 4-Star kind of chronicles that a lot of times due to the fact they do things non-profit, but have to back up stuff with merchandising and doing live streams. We're surprisingly not on this whole entire list, despite many people trying to throw shade across many abridgers over the years. But, being the case of that example, that is where it's a catch-22. You can try and do things the normal way where people were happy with how things were going, and yet it makes you suffer in the long run, or you try to adapt to times, yet people end up not liking how the changes of the adaptation go along the way. GP had to do the second option because adaptation is how you thrive in the entertainment genre. It is a curse for all creatives that we all know and hate today. You can't stay stagnant because then your viewership drops. You can't stay the normal self that you are because eventually some people are going to go to the next fad. Eventually you're going to have to adapt to something while keeping your same integrity at best length as you can, but trying to make sure it's accommodating for what is the new norm, what is the best balance, what is supposed to be what the fans want. But then what happens when you have people end up leaving either on bad terms, not really good terms, mysterious terms, or through just unaligned terms to just all of a sudden throw all these attacks at you? You end up feeling like there's nothing else to do except to hide out, wait for everything to just blow over, but it still goes on because no one is letting you have your say of peace. To the point where people fear any sort of thing. Maybe it's through attacks or through being DDoSed or swatted or death threats or people actually coming to your place of business and homes to actually physically stalk you and attack you. It doesn't stop no matter what. Now let's shift that perception from where you probably feel where you're shocked, you're scared, you're worried for your livelihood, for your families, for the people that are still into this. Switch it around to both parties. Because this is where the perception problem is a thing. When there's a power vacuum of where two stories are, there's oftentimes a huge splinter cell within the communities of both of them, whether they're on both sides, one side or the other side, or just trying to be an outside observer. They just try to do what they feel is just by doing these actions and making everyone else feel like the attacks are going on from said party. They don't know if it's them or if it's anyone else. They just know they're attacked. And first case scenario in their mind is, it's culprit number one. They have to be behind this. This is not right because now I feel unsafe. I feel like I'm at risk for my own life. I feel like I can't do what I can do. I feel like all my information is now up for grabs. That is not a healthy environment. That is a very sad one. That is one that you should definitely be afraid of for the entirety of your life if you ever try to leave a power vacuum that huge. But it's also why you need to have a clear enough perception to see that there's more to one story than what meets the eye. You can hear 1,000,000 times one person share one story on a video. Hell, I've tried proving that for years, and that still has led people to try and do dissertations and different theses about how you can still just go by one story and then everything pans out. But needless to say, when you only have one story for so long, and yet when someone else brings out the story, that power vacuum itself brings out more travesty than what you ever expected. Is there a smart way to get your claims out? There are many different smart ways to get your whole claims out, which is going to be a different group in part 2 of this editorial. However, there's still issues with that method that still lead to problems. But be that as it may, for this case alone, there was never a mention from what I've researched before we get into the subcategories of these are just our gripes, our grievances, and our opinions. But we don't want any of you to attack the group that we have left. I have not heard a single mention of that, and I've tried combing through everything. I've tried combing through social medias. I've tried combing through different videos. Only thing I've heard is that they were trying to leave and that they didn't want it to be a big deal. And then when you read the information dump, you see why it's a big deal and why it's kind of a problem. And yet there's still certain facts you want to be sure about, of like, what is the entire story? Can we get even more specifics? Can we make sure that everything is up and up so we know all the facts can correlate together? Because we want to make sure that there's no semblance of tampering, of different he say, she say, or she say in this case. Because if anything is left up to chance about how information is handled, you can spin the story any type of way you want. It's best to have both sides to make sure that everything is on the up and up. Otherwise, like I've said before, the power vacuum ends up with a lot more problems where you will end up on the offensive for no apparent reason due to Splinter Cell fans or outsiders trying to cause more mayhem than good. And from just a small little editorial portion before we go into other videos and then start up on the subcategory videos about subcategory A being Girls Play and subcategory B, Yandreaya, Nurse's Station, and Strikehedonia. Again, I implore all fans of Drea to tell me the correct way to say her channel name, because I don't want this whole thing to be a debacle of favoritism or me just trying to be a bad person to do these editorials, because I'm not trying to do these things to attack anyone. I'm just trying to air out certain things about how perception has been wonky, how perception has failed as a tool, and as well as try to expose both sides of the story so it's a clear page. Because there is no black and white. It's all gray, everyone. Everything has a gray tint to it. But we'll focus more on Girls Play and Yandreaya, Nurse's Station, and Strikehedonia in the sub-videos. For now, we must focus on the future, which is over a group that I will honestly be less professional about, due to the fact that the company itself has never been on a good enough radar for my own personal reasons.
Why, that two-timing hoe!